Welcome back to Making Good Choices Monday, where I tell you a story about a time that either I didn't make a very good choice or the horse didn't make a very good choice, and how we've learned from that experience and it's carried through with us the rest of our entire life. So if you want to hear about the first time I ended up in the emergency room, sit back, grab yourself a cup of coffee, and hang in there. We're going to get into it right now. My parents bought my first horse for me when I was 10 years old, and for the first 3 years, we boarded him at a riding stable. After that, they purchased some horse property in Mariloma, California, and we had this tiny little half-acre lot where we could have horses. And it was every little girl's fantasy to go out, be able to feed my horse twice a day, listen to him nicker to me when I walked outside in the morning. It was just every little girl's dream come true. And we lived just not even a half mile down the road from the public riding arena called Larimore Arena. And I always rode there. I always rode the entire housing track, perfectly groomed, bridled paths, that sort of thing. Well, I must have been about 18 or 19 when this incident took place, because I was working for a trainer at the time. I was just starting to work for her, and I was getting riding lessons from her, and I was being her bucking dummy, and I was starting to ride some other outside horses. I remember I was just starting to learn what leads were and how to do a balanced circle and how to frame up a horse and get them to collect and whatnot. So I was riding for a neighbor, and she lived directly behind us, and I could throw all my saddles and my equipment and everything else over the fence and just climb the fence when I was going to ride her horse for her. And I can't remember how many times a week I rode for, maybe 2 or 3. And I'd go down the road, and that particular day, there was a gentleman in the arena that was lunging his mare, and he was conditioning his mare and prepping her for an upcoming race. And so he was lunging her, and I was riding on the outside, and I can't remember if I was going the same direction or with the mare. At any rate, I was riding close because I was talking to him and carrying on a conversation. I obviously couldn't tell you what it was about now, but his mare got mad at us as we were going around, and she spun and she double barreled the filly and I as we were riding around. Now, fortunately, she did not get the filly. She got me instead. And I was wearing those little Roper slip-on shoes that are not meant for riding. And I probably should have been wearing a pair of regular pull-on boots, because had I been wearing a pair of regular pull-on Western boots, it probably would have protected my leg a little bit better. But that mare was wearing racing plates. And if you're not familiar with what racing plates are, they have a toe grab in them. And it's a little piece of metal that sticks out off the shoe, I don't know, maybe not even 1/4 of an inch. And it's about that long. And it's supposed to give them traction when they're racing. Well, when she kicked, she hit me with that hind foot in my leg, and that little toe grab on the racing plate cut open my leg. And about that far. And the filly didn't get hurt, and the guy apologized profusely to me, and I promptly rode home and unsaddled the filly and hobbled around on one leg and threw all my equipment. I think I got it up on the fence, and my dad came out and he pulled it off the fence for me. And I honestly can't remember if my mom or my boyfriend, or maybe they both, took me to the emergency room and hobbled in there. They took x-rays of my leg, and I didn't break anything, but I had that pukey throw-up feeling that you get when you break something. And if you've ever broken something, you know what I'm talking about. I had that pukey throw-up feeling, but it ended up being over seeing them stitch up my leg, and it was only like 8 stitches or something. But it was enough that has stuck with me the rest of my life, because anytime I'm at a horse show or at a public arena and somebody is lunging their horse, I have flashbacks to that, and I think, they really don't have control over that horse. None of us really have control over the horses that we're riding. We can stop a situation or downregulate a situation, but sometimes we don't have control once that situation escalates. So, I try to stay really clear, like especially when I go to these big quarter horse shows that I've gone to where I take the ranch horses to. And a lot of folks do lunge their horses. Sometimes there's arenas that are set specifically for lunging your horse. And I try to avoid those guys at all costs. I try not to be the guy that lunges their horse in and around a lot of other people that are riding. And I also pay special attention to the folks that are usually ponying their child off of a smaller horse or a pony in the warm-up pen. Now, I'm all for that. I'm not running that down. If I had a kid, I'd probably have him right there on another little horse next to me as well. And I'm sure they know that their horse probably isn't going to take any sort of aggressive action towards that smaller horse or that pony. But you never know what the other horses are going to do in that warm-up pen as they ride by. And for some reason, I don't know, maybe mention this in the comments if you guys have ever noticed this, but have you ever noticed how full-size horses, how they react to little horses, minis, ponies, smaller ones? I mean, they just act like they've never seen anything like that before, like they're just like a foreign object. Like there's just something that came out of nowhere. I have a couple horses that do this, that act like they've never seen a mini or a pony before. And you never know how they're going to react. And if you have a kid on them, and then you're on a full-size horse, that kid is right at that level to get kicked in the event that other horse takes an aggressive behavior to that one. So that's something that just always sticks in my mind. To this day, I am really nervous when I'm around folks that are lunging horses, and it's always stuck with me to this day. It's been at least 22 years now, and I've always kept that in the back of my mind. But there you go. That was my Making Good Choices Monday, and that was my first emergency room visit. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I hope you guys learned something from this. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Share this video. I just got a new Pivo camera or the Pivo setup and the tripod and everything, so I'm going to start playing around with that and doing videos with that. So stay tuned. We're going to keep rolling with these Making Good Choices Mondays, and we're going to keep rolling with those Training Tip Tuesday videos. I really appreciate you subscribing and watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching.